My micromanaging husband is driving me insane.
My son is a 20-month-old toddler, my wife is a stay-at-home mom, I work 6 days a week and I'm usually gone for 12 hours a day. I always check in on my son remotely via our nursery cam app and he's always awake in the mornings around 8 o'clock. He has a great sleep routine. Our wind-down time starts at the same time every evening. We clean up toys, read a book. When I lay him down he's still awake, he falls asleep on his own and sleeps all night for at least 12 hours. It's usually after 9 o'clock before I have a chance to check the camera. This morning when I checked it was 9:12 and some mornings are closer to 10 o'clock. Every time I look though, he's awake in the dark and standing in his crib just waiting. When I see this, I immediately turn on the brightest night light the camera has and speak to him through the camera app. I always tell him good morning and I love him and he usually laughs and says da. Then I leave the app and call my wife to wake her up. I usually have to call 3 to 4 times and when she finally answers, it's obvious that she just woke up and only because I called. I tell her that our son is awake waiting for her and that she needs to get up to start their day. This morning while on the phone, I asked her if she was going to get him after using the bathroom and she said no, she was going to the kitchen to prepare their breakfast and then she'd get him. I asked her to get him after the bathroom so he could go to the kitchen with her and she flipped out. She told me it pisses her off that I call every morning to tell her how to be a mom and that she has a routine. I retorted with, well, your routine sucks because he's been awake for an hour and you'd still be asleep if I hadn't called. It just bothers me that he has to wait so long. He needs a diaper change, he's probably thirsty, hungry, and just wants to play. Am I wrong though? Do I need to stop? Please be completely honest with your answers. Thanks. Edit 1. I was banned from commenting within the first hour because I violated a rule in a comment and that's why I wasn't responding to anyone. I'm a fairly new Reddit user in terms of posting, I normally read a lot and that's all, and because of this, I had no clue that a temporary comment ban didn't affect my ability to edit the post. I would have edited the post much sooner had I known I was able to regardless of the comment ban. There are so many things that need to be addressed about this post and the most important one is about my wife. I love her more than anyone on Reddit thinks I do. She is an amazing woman and a wonderful mother. I absolutely do not think she is an incompetent parent, nor do I think she neglects my son. None of the information I provided was ever supposed to convey that negative message about her. My whole issue was, he's awake, he's been awake, why are you still asleep? That's all, and she agreed she stays up too late plus has alarms set now. I showed my wife how this post exploded and she could not believe the kind of attention it got. She is very much in love with me and does not agree that I am controlling, nor does she believe that I am micromanaging her daily life. Also, because so many people believe that I intentionally left out the medical issues she has, I'll list them here. Postpartum depression. Low vitamin B12. Chronic fatigue. Now, let me explain why I didn't list them originally. Her low vitamin B12 is not a deficiency, her level is just lower than what is considered best for her age. This is according to recent blood work that I recommended. The results state that any number between 100 pg/ml and 914 pg/ml is within normal range, and her level is 253 pg/ml. The doctor suggested sublingual B12 1000 micrograms daily to raise the level a little, but stated that apart from that, she could not find a reason for the chronic fatigue. Because of these results, and especially after purchasing the supplements, in my mind, the B12 is not a problem. Also, the blood work confirmed that everything else was normal. The postpartum depression is actively being monitored and treated by a professional. My wife literally goes to a psychiatrist, or psychologist, I can't remember their exact title, multiple times a year, and we pay for medication every 30 days. She initially tried depression medication, followed the regimen religiously and not much changed for her. This was addressed in a following appointment and a new medication was prescribed. Her current medication is normally used to treat ADHD or narcolepsy, and the doctor believed it would alleviate some of her tiredness and release more dopamine, thus providing more energy in her daily life. This does seem to be true, and she seems to be happy with the medicine. The chronic fatigue is a result of her own poor scheduling and personal health. She has agreed that she spends too much time sitting and using the phone. She naps when our son naps and has trouble falling asleep at a normal bedtime hour due to this daytime sleep. We always go to bed together, and he's told me multiple times that she moved to the living room after I fell asleep because she couldn't sleep and was bored just lying there. Then, midnight or later comes, she's finally drowsy and decides to sleep. However, the overstimulation from social media and phone usage makes it difficult for her brain to reach REM sleep normally. So she falls asleep at 12 o'clock, our son wakes up at 8 o'clock, 8 hours have passed and she still feels tired and not at all rested. I do know and have known about her condition. We have agreed to disagree about the cause of her sleeping problems. In her mind, she has chronic fatigue because of insomnia, and it's a vicious cycle. In my mind, she stays up too late on the phone and doesn't get the sleep her body needs. Whether the internet thinks she is a bad mother, negligent, lazy, or abusive is not important. I know and love the woman I married. I do feel comfortable leaving her with our kid, and she does an amazing job with him. In a few comments, I stated that she was lazy and didn't do much at home. I won't deny those statements, but in the moment I was still aggravated because the argument over the phone had just recently ended. I don't truly think she's lazy because I've seen what she can do. I just think she's unmotivated due to a lack of sleep, and the same for walls every day. Finally, I am not spying on her or my son. We only have 2 cameras in this house and both are in our son's room. One camera provides a wide-angle view of the entire room and the other is positioned directly above his crib. The cameras serve no purpose during the day because I'd barely be able to hear background noise from another room even if I did try to listen in. My wife is an amazing woman and an amazing mother. My son is just so happy all the time. He's super smart, full of energy, and extremely healthy. I will not be hiring a nanny or using a daycare. There is absolutely nothing wrong with what my wife does during the day. I just wish she'd start her day earlier for my little man. I want to say thank you to everyone who commented on this post and messaged me. My wife and I had a long, in-depth conversation last night after all of the attention this post received, and I've shown her everything. There were tears, much more laughs, and a lot of things to think about. I think the most important thing we learned is that so many people are quick to judge, and that in itself is a very big problem. Edit 2. I need to make it clear that my wife does not have narcolepsy. She is not taking medicine for narcolepsy. I said that the medicine she takes now is usually used to treat narcolepsy or ADHD. She also does not have ADHD. The second thing we learned is that people love to add details and change the story. Comments from OOP. We went to bed together at 8:39 last night. How much sleep does she need, and how long should he be forced to wait in the dark without food or toys? Thank you. That's all it is. I'm not controlling. She prefers to stay at home. She has her own vehicle and she can leave whenever she wants. All I care about is his development, and it bothers me that the first quarter of his time awake before his nap is spent in the dark, alone and bored. That's how I feel. Others are saying that I'm controlling and she lives like a prisoner, but he is the priority in my mind. It's our fault he's here. It is what it is. I'm not spying on him. I just miss him. When I see him wide awake, beaming with energy but stuck in the dark, it bothers me, and I feel like it's my duty as his father to help. Am I really wrong for this? Is it so hard to bring a toddler to the kitchen to play with magnets on a refrigerator while you prepare a small meal? Do you really think it's right for a toddler to wake up and be forced to wait in the dark for 2 hours before their caregiver arrives to provide the attention and love they so desperately need in the early years? I know he sleeps through the night, and if he didn't for some reason I would have woken up as well and known about it. Also, I never expect her to spend every second of the day with him. I don't even do that when I'm home, but why can't she get up at a decent hour? Shouldn't a mother adjust her schedule to fit the child? A sleep study confirmed that she doesn't have sleep apnea. Depression medicine didn't work, so now she's taking medicine that usually treats narcolepsy for ADHD. She had blood tests done not too long ago, and according to the doctor everything is fine, and they didn't find a cause for her chronic fatigue except for a lower than average B12 level. I bought B12 supplements as per the doctor's request, but she forgets to take them, and when she's awake she sits on the couch browsing social media almost all day long. Do you honestly believe that it's acceptable to go to bed at 9 o'clock and sleep until 12 o'clock even though you have a toddler at home that wakes up at 8 o'clock? I shouldn't have to be there, nor should I have to spend money on someone to care for my child when his mother is perfectly capable. I swear she doesn't do much of anything around the house other than sit on the couch looking at TikTok or Facebook, but this isn't a post about a lazy wife, it's about a post about a father who wishes his child's mother could provide a better structure for the child. Her schedule needs work and she cannot continue to just sleep in until she is ready to get up. Also, he does cry when he's waited long enough, and that's what wakes her on the days that I'm just too busy at work. I am not spying on her. We literally do not talk at all during the day until I'm back home, except for this one time in the mornings. There is no routine though. That's my issue. If it weren't for me, he'd be fed and allowed playtime at very different times every day. I agree with the benefits of alone time, but isn't it a bit much to keep him waiting for more than an hour, and sometimes more than 2 hours? That's my whole point. Everyone is saying the child is safe, or he wasn't crying, and they are absolutely correct. However, when I'm home I jump out of bed and go in there singing my good morning song when I hear that he's awake. I don't think I'm fostering anything negative in the development of his personality. I genuinely cannot wait to see him smile at me, I cannot wait to hear him say my name, I cannot wait to watch him throw his hands up and tell me up, up. I love bonding with him, I love interacting with him, and I love letting him follow me around the house while I do adult things. He's my little sidekick. Yes, the decision for a child was mutual. She doesn't do anything but feed him, lay him down at nap time, wash dishes, and browse social media on the couch. This post was never about a lazy wife, but about a father who wants a more consistent structure to be provided to his child. We agree that she'd be a stay-at-home mom, she wants this, and I make a good living. When I'm home, my son and I don't exist. I'm up at 5 o'clock every morning for work and up by 7 o'clock on the mornings that I'm home. And he does eventually cry. When I don't call, his crying is what eventually wake her up. She wanted the cameras. This next part is the wife's side, that she messaged to the TikTok user who read the husband's AITA post in TikTok video.
Hi. I had saw your TikTok a few days ago about the AITA for calling every morning. I am the wife of the poster. I had seen a lot of comments saying I want to hear his wife's side, or I bet he didn't tell his wife. Well, I'm reaching out to you tell you my side. I do not mind you posting about this on TikTok, but I'd like to remain anonymous. I'm going to try to explain a little more on my health issues. So I do see a psychiatrist once a month. When I first went I was diagnosed with the following: anxiety, bipolar, manic depression, insomnia, ADHD, and a few others I can't remember, they're not important anyways. So I am currently taking a medication now that does usually treat ADHD and narcolepsy. I actually just went and seen the psychiatrist, a new one, yesterday, and she did tell me that I do not have ADHD, that I have ADD. I do not have narcolepsy. I'm not sure how anyone thought I did, considering he said I'm on a medication that is usually used to treat those things. The tiredness P. He states that the issue is that I sit on the couch on my phone all day long. Now, I am on my phone on social media a lot during the day, however, it is not all day, as I do have to take care of our son. So, I play with him most of the day, I do the dishes, I fix his lunch, and then I lay him down for his nap and I go to the room and have me time on social media or watch Netflix for 2 to 3 hours while my son sleeps. I do not get a whole lot of sleep at night because of the insomnia, and I don't nap during the day anymore. We usually lay our son down at 8 like he said, and he's usually asleep within 15 minutes and we'll both come to the room. However, he will watch YouTube and I will watch Netflix or get on social media once again. Until roughly 10 to 10:30, depending on how tired my husband is. Eventually, after 1 to 2 hours I get tired of just laying there and go to the living room and get back on my phone. Between 12 and 1 I go back to the room and lay there for another 1 to 2 hours before I finally fall asleep. My husband will wake me around 5 to give me a kiss before he gets out of bed and starts getting ready for work. This is the time I get the best sleep. I guess because he's not in the bed. LOL. I don't wake up in the mornings, because when my son wakes up he lays there talking to himself and it isn't loud enough for me to hear until he starts getting excited about certain words or making certain sounds. I know this, because he does this every time he wakes up from a nap. Once I hear him I do get up. I use the bathroom, go to the kitchen, make his breakfast and his drink and get his high chair ready and then go get him. This takes maybe 15 minutes. A lot of people were saying that our son is neglected and he is most definitely not. In any way. Some were saying that he's learned that crying didn't get him anywhere. Anytime he cries, I go to him. No matter what. Our son is always a happy baby unless he is sick. As for the way he writes/talks, that's just him. He's always like that. LOL. He posted it because he wanted to know if he was in the wrong for calling me and waking me up and telling me that I needed to get him as soon as I finished using the bathroom or if he should have just left me alone. When he posted it, he didn't think that it was going to blow up like it did, but boy was he wrong. LOL, the only time he gets on the camera is in the mornings anywhere between 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. It just depends on how busy he is at work and finally has a minute to get on it. I am the sole caregiver for our child, which was mutual. I actually brought it up first. It is very stressful and lonely at times. But I don't need help as he is our child and my responsibility to care for while my husband is at work. Adult interaction? Yes. My husband does love me very much. Even though a lot of people think he doesn't. He is the reason that I finally went and got my blood work done, because he kept telling me I needed to go to find out what was wrong with me and why I'm so tired all the time. I didn't want to go because I was scared something could be terribly wrong. Thankfully there wasn't, just semi-low B12. He did get me the medicine my doctor suggested I take, but as he said I forget to take it. I forget things very easy. I also need to have that checked, but I don't want to as I'm scared something could be wrong. As for his controlling/micromanaging, I do not think he is either of those things. However, the way he says some things to me or approaches things does seem like he is. But I can assure you he isn't. LOL. I love my husband very much. As for all the comments saying she's a shit mom, she's neglectful, she's abusive, she's disgusting, she's a lazy cunt and all the other many horrible comments towards me, they were extremely hurtful. Again, I'll say, I'm not neglectful. My son is well fed, bathed, happy, and extremely smart for him to be almost 2 and have been born 2 months early. He is very well taken care of. I'm most definitely not abusive. I would never hurt my child in my way. I love my son with everything in me. He is literally my whole world and I would do anything for him. The only bad thing that I was doing was sleeping longer than I should have and making him wait an extra 15 to 20 minutes on a diaper change, because I didn't want him running around climbing on everything while I was trying quickly to get his breakfast ready. But, seeing how many people say that I was shit mom for that, I have now been setting a few alarms and getting up and going straight to him to change him and then taking him with me to fix his breakfast. I just want to say thank you for not bashing me like everyone else. Also, I just want to add when he mentioned I usually have to call 3 or 4 times I hear my phone ringing, but I know it's him so I ignore it, LOL, as I'm getting up. I'm so sorry that this is so long and I know you're getting tired of hearing about this post, but I just wanted to hopefully clear up a few things and kinda share my side. Not sure if I did too good of a job though, LOL. Also, sorry, it's a few days after everything, I couldn't decide if I actually wanted to respond to everything or not. But ultimately I just wanted to let everyone know I'm not a bad mom like everyone thinks I am and that my husband really isn't that bad, LOL.
That's where the story ends. Please consider subscribing to keep up to date on this post and other daily Reddit content.